I mean, that's why I don't understand, because this is in some of the Scottish major newspapers that they're saying this, and there have been these cases, and then lawyers and people that are involved and supporters go into a city and it says they're arrested for no reason. I mean,
well, exactly. But you know, the BBC, they approached Holly Gregg and her mother, and they started to do a major documentary on BBC Scotland, BBC Radio Scotland, and one of the major current affairs strands in Britain called Panorama and the BBC. It was all going well. They were getting their evidence together. The person who was running the documentary said, we found a lot more evidence of paedophilia of other people in Scotland. Other people are being abused in the same way. The reporter said, this is a report that's going to go around the world when this comes out. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the reporter calls Robert Greene and says, we can't run the story because we've been threatened that if we do anything more on this or investigate any more paedophilia in Scotland by the establishment, we're all going to be sacked. So there is a massive cover-up. And, you know, when you look at the Franklin cover-up in Omaha, Nebraska, with John W. DeCamp and all that story, when you look at that, it takes on exactly the same theme and background as what's being uncovered now in Scotland, because, you know, it's a blueprint, Alex, and it operates everywhere, and the scum needs to come to the top so we can see it, and it is coming. It is coming.
Well, David, you're over in England. You're over, you know, close to Scotland. I don't really know anything about this case. I just saw it in the news and then noticed that you'd been reporting and talking about it. And overall, though, we do have the Washington Times and other publications about the hundreds of visits of top gay prostitutes, madams. We have reporters that turn out to be madams, hundreds of midnight visits. And it seems to be a Republican thing, though Democrats seem to be involved. We have all the orgies going on at Bohemian Grove that mainstream publications have reported. You know, Chad Savage, the top gay porn star, you know, they hire porn stars for each person who are their, quote, valets. And, I mean, it just shows, I guess this is a guild of people. I mean, is this like, say, an East Side gang in Austin or South Side gang in L.A., the meaner the gang, or to get higher level, you got to mug somebody, kill an old lady, burn down a house. It gets worse and worse. And they say they do that so that you're compromised. I mean, is that what this is all about? Or
well, Alex, there's two reasons for it. And by the way, while it's in my mind, you know, Holly Gregg is Down syndrome. Now, people will find this hard to believe, but it's absolutely true. Raping and having sex with Down syndrome children is considered a big thing to do within the pedophile satanic network. So sick are they. And there's actually a big underground child porn video industry involving Down syndrome people. It's unbelievable. There's two basic reasons for it. One is very deep. It's to do with energy. It's to do, on one level, with vampiring the energy of children. There's something about the energy pre-puberty that these people want. And during the act of sex, they're sucking the energy, that prepubescent energy, out of the child. That's one level of it, but there are many other reasons. But one is, as you say, first of all, I've used this word, it's the cement that holds it together. Well, what it is in two ways. First of all, it creates this, everyone's dependent on everyone else, because everyone knows about everyone else. And then there's the fear, if you want to get out and you don't want to do what they say in terms of political, banking, business decisions, etc., that you ain't got a way out, mate, because if you want to get out, okay, fine, but this will be in the post to somebody. And so this fear holds these people in servitude to the masters who run the operation. And so I'm not kidding you. If people think this is extreme, the British government, like the Scottish government, is run by people who are in fear of exposure from some of this stuff. Honestly, and that's not just in this country, it's all over the world. You get someone involved in this, they are when they say jump and do this and introduce this legislation, change this and do that, you break the Olympic high jump record because you know the consequences of not doing it.
Well, I've got the Press and Journal report out of the UK, and it says sex abuse family legal advisor arrested. Campaigner was going to hand out leaflets, and they say that you're not allowed to do that in Scotland. So, I mean, they are sure acting like, I mean, don't they know that that's only going to make this blow up that much bigger?
Well, you know, Alex, we've come back to what we were talking about earlier. We're talking about how the network, the families, the Illuminati are getting desperate because this stuff is coming out and people are opening their minds to it, and so it's becoming more difficult for them. So they're doing desperate things. This pedophile satanic ring in Scotland is now in that same state of desperation because suddenly it's come across people. I mean, you know, my website, and there's one called UK Column, which is followed this, and is a very, very good website to go to for this information. People like Colin Green, who's been right at the center of it, this journalist, who are simply not going to bow to the intimidation. And as they get more desperate, they do desperate things. And as I said earlier about what is happening today, when you do desperate things, you do things more blatantly, and even more people see what's going on. And so this guy's gone up. He's planning to stand for Parliament on this single issue, like I say, to hand out leaflets and tell people what's going on, because the pathetic, jelly-boned Scottish media won't tell them.
Well,
so
David,
they
I
do this extreme thing to stop him.
David,
they're desperate.
I really appreciate you joining us. We'll continue to watch your reporting on this, and hopefully you'll get to the bottom of it. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
No problem, Alex. See you soon. Bye.